Man, we had some tea farm. It's crazy. Is he too cool for the fan?
As an outgrow to the factory, we can go and buy our tea straight from the factory. It's not necessarily just our tea, because when that tea goes to the factory, we're one of over 50 others sending it. It all changes, because tea is like wine, and different soils and growing conditions will change it, and they can, and then they just build their heap. Tea is very like compost. I'll put you off tea for life, but there's a lot of similarity to tea and compost, because tea is oxidization. So as you're building that heap, it's beginning to get warm in the middle, and it's beginning to turn into compost, so it's better it goes to the factory. And the big estates will send twice. They'll send in the morning and then again in the afternoon. When this was all our tea, we would send it twice, but with 2 acres, we don't really have enough to warrant 2 trips to the factory. So as the pluckers pick, we open up their heaps and just keep it cool, and then before it goes to the factory, we sort through it, and by just literally just tossing it in the air. So they'll sit in front of their heap like that, and they'll just toss it like that. So they'll find this long stalky bit, so they'll break that off. This goes in the good heap, and that gets thrown away. And that way you reduce the risk of having it rejected. And then they're paid on the farm weight, we're paid on the factory weight. They're very neat and tidy at the factory, they deal in zeros. Sometimes they round you up, sometimes they round you down, but at the end of the year your farm weight and factory weight are pretty much the same. So we'll just keep it cool and send it up in the afternoon. So we're normally through between 3 and 3:30, depending on how much tea there is. Your pluckers, there's a lot of psychology in tea. If you've got good pluckers, you keep them. And they'll take themselves back to the same rows that they picked before. So they pick them carefully because
Hooked your boy up with some tea. Big slurpy boy with the head.
Got her pinky up.
I know how we rock.
they arrived in 1903 from the UK. What they came to do, I don't know. I just know they didn't stay. But by the time they left, 4 of their children had joined them, all adults. And my grandfather was one of them. His background was not agriculture at all. He'd been apprenticed to an architect in London. And he loved building and wood and carving and things like that. All the carvings in the sitting room on the backs of the doors and the fireplace were all done by him. So when he first arrived, which was 1906, he went to work with a sawmill, where the Nairobi-Naivasha road is now, the highway. And he had a team of oxen, and he was just dragging logs from the forest to a sawmill, where they were primarily cutting the sleepers or the ties for the railway. And it's the railway that brought tea to Kenya, because it was all built by people from India. Because they like their black tea, so they were probably bringing the black tea leaves from India for their workers, which is why the Kenyans will drink tea the Indian way. Lots of sugar, lots of milk. My grandmother came to marry him in Kenya. They had been engaged to be married before he left.
So how they grow in Kenya?
It's among the avocado. We have robust mangoes and the side mangoes.
They all over Kenya though. You know, people don't even eat them because they're so used to.
Yeah,
We're going on like a little tour through the forest right now. Not forest for real, but through this little tea garden or whatever.
So we can't keep them together with the mothers because we need to milk the cows. So we keep them here because we put milk in the bucket so they can drink. So we keep them here. Okay, now we start here. My name is Julius. You have to look this side. This position here is where the original house was. And it was eaten by termites, was our wooding. And at this time is where we get our water. That's a borehole or a well. It's about 150 meters deep, and it has pure water. It has never get it dry. So we have a special pump pump the water from the borehole up to the tank, from the tank up to the house or even to the garden.
Where are they taking us?
He said no snake.
Oh yeah.
There not be no snake.
Where are they taking us, man? I'm in the jungle for real, for real.
Okay, now it's over here. Anybody know this? You know?
Some over here. There's some back here.
Man, great day, great day. Ain't do too much for real. Had dinner. I felt like I was back at the what you call it, the hot air balloon breakfast again. But this was just lunch. Beautiful day, beautiful view.
No.
Yeah, she got that.
I'm here at Jasper. Yeah. We're going to the beach tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna end this vlog. I don't know when. Maybe this is the end of it. Maybe we do something else today. But the beach is gonna be a completely different vlog. So, yeah, man. Ooh, wait. What a trip, yo. What a trip.
You wanna take over the world? Then start by tearing down the town. We'll break the walls, claim the fields, then rush inside those buildings and burn them to the ground.
AC too cool for pain.